Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good day to the respected chairman and all presenters and participants, both virtual and on-site. I am Dr. Nur Azrina Kamaluddin from School of Civil Engineering, College of Engineering, University Technology Mara, Shah Alam. And I am the presenter for this paper entitled Challenges of Food Delivery Riders, P-Hailing, an exploratory study to better understand the nature of work and traffic accidents involvement. Before I proceed, allow me to give an overview of my research interests. Maybe this might be a platform for us to do networking and research collaboration, who knows? Okay, I am interested in traffic safety research, particularly involving motorcyclists, and I am now actively researching on the P-Hailing safety.
Di sebalik mogok penghantar makanan atau rider, dan antara lain ini kerana mereka tidak puas hati terhadap syarikat pengendali. Menurut Persatuan Penghantar P-Hailing Malaysia, mereka mengesahkan rancangan ini yang antara lain bertujuan untuk menunjukkan solidariti rider terhadap isu berbangkit yang mereka lihat masih lagi tiada penyelesaian. Dan menurut persatuan itu, ini termasuklah isu kadar upah yang tidak tetap, dan mereka melihat ia dimanipulasi syarikat serta isu tambang yang tidak setimpal dengan aplikasi yang dikatakan menekan penghantar P-Hailing ataupun rider.
Ekoran tidak puas hati dengan kadar upah, ratusan penghantar makanan berhimpun di Pejabat Pengurusan Grab hari ini. Mogok 24 jam yang dinamakan Food Delivery Blackout telah bermula sejak malam tadi. Ia berpunca daripada ketidakpuasan hati penghantar makanan dengan kadar pembayaran yang tidak adil digunakan oleh syarikat tersebut.
Mengejar penghantaran sehingga mengabaikan keselamatan sendiri. Itu antara punca yang dilaporkan menyumbang kepada kemalangan melibatkan penunggang perkhidmatan penghantaran barangan dan makanan P-Hailing.
Persoalannya, mengapa ia boleh berlaku? Adakah golongan itu benar-benar gilakan upah lumayan atau sistem operasi pengendali yang terlalu menekan?
Berita kemalangan membabitkan golongan ini cedera parah, cacat seumur hidup ataupun maut sudah acap kali dipaparkan. Lebih merisaukan, statistik terkini menunjukkan 2/3 dari 2,576 kes kematian penunggang motosikal sepanjang tempoh Perintah Kawalan Pergerakan PKP tahun lalu melibatkan penunggang P-Hailing. Alasan yang diberikan perlu menghantar makanan dalam tempoh masa yang ditetapkan. Jika gagal berbuat demikian, pelanggan akan memberikan penilaian kepuasan yang rendah.
Right, there are three contributors to this paper. The first author is Mr. Tun Akmal bin Hang Tua from the School of Civil Engineering, College of Engineering, UiTM Shah Alam. The second author is me, Dr. Nur Azrina Kamaluddin, also from the School of Civil Engineering, College of Engineering, University Technology Mara. And the third author is technologist Dr. Siti Zahara Ishaq from Malaysia Institute of Transport, Mitrans UiTM. Here are the outline of my presentation, and this presentation is quite short and sweet, I guess. So we will start with the introduction, a little bit background on the P-Hailing, then follow with objective, method used to conduct the study, the result and discussion, and lastly conclusion and also recommendation. And let's say if you want to know more further detail about this paper, you may read the full paper or reach me via my email address. Before I proceed to further detail into this topic, let me give a quick introduction about the P-Hailing services. So what is the P-Hailing? This career is popular among the young adult. P-Hailing is services involving the delivery of food, drinks and parcel using motorcycle. The P-Hailing rider refers to a person who collect, transport and deliver the food or parcel to the customer. P-Hailing safety issue is alarming in Malaysia and always being highlighted in the Malaysian newspaper. As can be seen here, there are so many complaints, traffic crashes involving these P-Hailing riders. There are two objectives of this study, which the first one is to assess the contributing factors of a traffic accident involving P-hailing riders, and the second objective is to determine the perception of the P-hailing riders towards the delivery time frame set by the P-hailing service provider to the traffic accident involvement. For the introduction, let us look into the impact of the MCO. As we know, in the early 2020, the world was shocked by the unprecedented event of COVID-19, where many were badly affected by it. And there is a drop of Malaysia GDP by negative 5.6%, and the implementation of MCO caused Malaysia lost nearly 600 million per day, and most businesses could not operate. With this negative GDP in 2020, it can be concluded that Malaysia economy is actually was terrible amidst the pandemic. But there is one industry who benefit from the MCO, which is e-commerce. The booms of e-commerce gains the biggest advantage. As reported, Lazada experienced 120% sales increment, and these demand the high P-hailing rider in the industry during the pandemic. But we know they are not protected from any traffic accidents, so the increment of the number of P-hailing rider would increase the number of accident involvement among motorcyclists. As reported, in the first 8 months of 2021, 11 fatal accidents involving P-hailing rider were reported. And we want to know what is actually the reason behind of these phenomena. Either the rider are not satisfied with the delivery time allocated by the vendor, etc. Every year, the statistic of road accidents and fatalities are on the rise in Malaysia. Traffic accidents are becoming a norm for Malaysians, and it is quite concerning actually. And based on the statistic by World Health Ranking 2018, the death rate per 100,000 people due to road traffic accident in Malaysia is 23.4%, where Malaysia is ranked 65 out of 183 other recorded countries. As we can see in this figure, the number of recorded road accidents is increasing year after year, involving more than 700,000 vehicles per year. As for the method of data collection, the primary data was collected via interview session with the volunteered P-hailing rider in Shah Alam, Selangor. 20 P-hailing rider in Shah Alam who work for Shopee Food, Foodpanda and GrabFood were interviewed because they are the most dominant vendor in Selangor. So the interview session was conducted on a one-to-one basis depending on the availability of the both party, either online or face-to-face, and the semi-structured questions were designed. So several questions were asked regarding their background, for example, their demography, riding experience, how long they've been ride a motorcycle, and working experience as P-hailing rider. So each interview lasted 30 minutes to 1 hour depending on the amount of information gathered. And all the interviews were recorded for reference during the data analysis stage. And these recorded interviews were transcribed to ensure no point were missed. And the interview session ended on the 20th of riders because the saturation point was reached as no new information could be gathered. So in terms of the data analysis, the thematic and descriptive analysis were used in this study. Let us look into the overview result of the study, where as can be seen in this table 1, it represents working hours, number of orders and wages of P-hailing rider during weekdays and weekend. So this table is read according to the tier of data. So there are three elements considered: working hours, the first one. Second is the number of orders and also wages. So how to read this table? For example, for the working hours, the first data here, 0 to 5 hours, they are 10. Okay, they are 10 P-hailing rider who works 0 to 5 hours on the weekdays, while there are 4 P-hailing riders who works between 0 to 5 hours on the weekend. So overall, as we can see in this table, P-hailing rider tends to work more or longer hour during the weekend as compared to weekdays. Therefore, they will get more orders and also more wages on the weekend. And the P-hailing service provider usually offer many bonuses to the riders on the weekend, and they could earn extra money and increase their weekly wages. Therefore, it can be observed there was always an increment in wages for all the riders from the weekdays to weekend. And this also explained the riders were motivated to work longer hours due to an incentive-based income system. Let us look into the result to answer the objective one, where, as can we see here in this figure, there are several contributing factors to traffic accident involving P-hailing rider, where the red light running is being the top, followed by speeding and slippery road, while chasing order on the fourth rank. The rest of the factors just rarely mentioned by the P-hailing rider. So we can see that the red light running, the first on the top, and speeding accumulates up to 15 times and 30 times respectively uttered by interviewees, where we know that speeding was one of the dominant cause of traffic accident. While the red light running usually occurred when they are chasing order during the hot weather, and also the long waiting time at the signalized intersection. Answering objective number 2, regarding the age, 65% of the interviewed rider deemed young rider as dangerous riders on the road, as probably they have a risky or risk-taking behavior. And as cited by Zhang, younger are groups that prone to experience higher temperature as compared to the older age group. With regards to the delivery timeframes, all companies did not have fixed delivery timeframe. This is when we're speaking about the Shopee Food, Food Panda, and also Grab Food. But it depends on the rider itself, where they tend to speed up if they want to chase order. And longer delivery time will encourage rider to being reported by customers. But surprisingly, 75% of the interviewed rider admit that they have the insurance policy. So they are covered, they are protected from any injuries due to the traffic accidents. So from this study, it can be observed, it can be concluded that red light running was the major or the primary, the critical factors of accidents involving P-hailing rider. The delivery time frame had minor impact on accident cases as they could increase it, and behavior of rider which affect the rate of P-hailing accidents. As a recommendation, in the future, a large number of participants need to be used or can be recruited to have a more significant result, as it could portray the whole community of the designated place. Then more companies that provide delivery services can be considered, such as JNT, post laju, bungkus, it, and many others, because this is to depict the whole current scenario of the p-hailing industry. And it would be interesting actually in the future if we could include emotions in the parameters, as it could affect the riders, riding behavior, and decision making at work. These are the references used for this presentation. With that, I end my presentation. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye.